All right, this is different. First of all, thank you for checking out the last video. I appreciate you guys checking it out. It means a lot to me. But second of all, and more importantly, pack your snacks, buckle your seatbelts. This is Toon Cruise. Roll it. So, last time we took a ride with Toto's debut album, certified classic, commercial success. They made it. Whoa! So, now what? Well, the band thought the same thing. Now, they didn't want to make a carbon copy of the first album, so they decided to try something a little different. With their recent success and doing a lot of session work in between albums, the band felt on top of the world. They felt like I'm God. They didn't need to listen to anybody. They became rebels, and that rebellious attitude translates into the album. It's a little bit more edgy, more raw, more rebellious. Now the real question is, does it work? Do we have another classic on our hands? Let's take a look and see how Toto answered their debut album by taking a cruise with the sequel, Hydra. What did I tell you about the sword? Remember this sword. You will remember this sword. Now I want to say that this cover speaks volumes to me. It literally says, I'm ready to slay whatever beast lies in front of me. I'm gonna look like a badass while doing it. Or it could possibly be saying, don't fuck with me. I will cut you into pieces with this sword. In all seriousness, I'm not the only one that gets a badass vibe from this cover, right? Like, it just oozes just attitude. It has that 90s edge, and this album came out not in the 90s. It just oozes edge and attitude. And as I mentioned, that attitude carried into the tone of the album. I'm just going to jump the gun here a little bit and say that I personally think that this album has a Terminator 2 vibe, a Toy Story 2 vibe, a Godfather 2 vibe. You see where I'm going here? The sequel's better. This is better than the first one. And the first one was almost perfect. Some may say that it's not better, it's just as good though. Now, on this album, the band decided to flex their skills a little bit, as if they need to. They did, and once again, they are very, 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 very good at the music. Just listen to how the album starts. Okay, first of all, I gotta say, the synthesizer work, shout out to Steve Porcaro on that. He's a wizard with synthesizer programming and all that stuff. But you can immediately feel the attitude though on this song, right? Like you could just tell, like, oh yeah, man, this is about to be a badass album. And on the song Hydra, they do a couple switch ups, and it's just dope. It's just awesome. Now, every single member had a hand in writing Hydra, making it the first song that the entire band has ever written. Now, the one thing about this song, and for Toto in general, is the lyrics. I'm not sure what to make of the writing, and that's kind of been Toto's like Achilles heel, if you will. A lot of people don't think their lyrics translate well, or they tell a good story, or here's what I mean by that. So Rush is very, very good with their themes and their storytelling. They literally have like freaking half fantasy novels in some of their songs. But Toto, their lyrics didn't quite really have that same, it wasn't as good. But the instrumentation on this album is what's very good. So the reason why I think this album is better than the first one is because sonically, they showed their asses and they went off, and it works. Like I said, the writing may not be there for as far as the lyrics go, but the instrumentation. Now, in my opinion, Hydra is very similar to the first album in a way, as far as like the diversity and everything, but it's more polished and perfected. Check out St. George and the Dragon. it's a fun little bop. And of course, Bobby on vocals. You can't go wrong with Bobby on vocals. Seriously, you really can't. Steve Lukather, he gets his shine on the song 99. Okay, fun fact. Would you believe me if I told you that as good as that song is, none of the band members like this song? They all hate it. Lukather particularly hated the video. David Page, who wrote the song, he doesn't even like the lyrics he wrote, but the song is so good. 99, woo.
That boy is good.
Anywho, moving on. After this is where the album shifts into another gear. Ha ha, very funny, motherfucker. For example, All Us Boys just screams that rebellious attitude. Check it out. All us boys like to drink and smoke, love a joke, blow your minds and leave hot ties behind. And I must say, the way the song ends, they do this change up where it kind of goes into more of a hard rock kind of thing. And it sounds so good. Fantastic. Another gem on this album is Mama. This is where Bobby once again just shows his brilliance. Now this one is more of a jazzy feel, but damn it is so good. And then we get to the crown jewel, White Sister. This song is a fantastic showcase of the band's skill set. Of course, Bobby just goes crazy on vocals as always, but this is a total flex by the band. Just listen. And that is just a snippet. I highly recommend checking out this whole song. Matter of fact, check out the whole album for that matter. But everybody shines through on White Sister, from Steve Porcaro and Page on keyboards, just and pianos, keyboards and pianos. They just go crazy. Jeff Porcaro is going stupid on drums. Steve Lukather loses his mind on guitar, and Dave Hugante is just holding it down on bass. And Bobby, once again, I just love this song. But this song is exactly why I think this album is just as good as the first one, if not better. However, not everybody agrees with me on that one. Once again, the critics just wasn't feeling it. In fact, Hydra was way less popular than the first album. Overall, the album received mixed reviews, with AllMusic stating that the lack of popularity was due to, quote, Toto's failure to establish a distinctive, recognizable sound, end quote. Which I kind of see what they mean. You gotta think back, in the late 70s, early 80s, there were a lot of bands with very similar sounds. I mean, Foreigner is like Toto Jr. in my opinion, which they're also a good band too. But you can argue that Foreigner got bigger than Toto just because they kind of did a smart move and kind of went more of the 80s ballad route. I've been waiting for a girl like you to come into my life. So you had to stand out in some sort of way, either with a spectacular vocalist like Lou Gramm or Steve Perry, which I think Bobby can get there, or you have to have an all-time classic hit, which at this point, they didn't really have that leg to stand on yet. Up to this point, Toto has not had their staple hit yet. So unfortunately, Toto wasn't different enough in people's eyes. Yes, they were great instrumentalists, but there was nothing that made them stand out. There's nothing that makes you go like, that's a Toto song, that's Toto, unless you are a diehard fan, like me. Fun fact, I'm in the top 0.5% of listeners for Toto. Let that sink in. I may have a problem. Now, Rolling Stone ironically stated that, quote, Hydra isn't as good as the first record, end quote.
What?
To that I say,
is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
now, commercially, the album did pretty decent, finishing 67 at the end of year billboards in the US, and it peaked at number 37. It sold over 600,000 copies, and it went gold in the US and platinum in Canada. So, not quite nearly as big as the first album, but still a pretty good success. But what do I think about it? Well, incredible instrumentation, great vocals yet again, diverse sound all the way around. This album is damn near perfect. 4.5 out of 5 notes. Well deserved. Eventually, the reception to this album overall has gotten better, and it actually has developed a little bit of a cult following. Very well deserved though. This is a great album, and Toto strikes again. It's the sword. I'm telling you, it's the freaking sword. But overall, a fantastic follow-up to their hit debut. If you enjoyed that first record, you're going to enjoy this second one for sure. I guarantee it. If not, shut up, fool! But with 2 classic albums, where does Toto go from here? Are they going to go for a different sound? Kind of like their mentality on this record? Do they strike gold again? Or should I say platinum? Does the sword make a return? Find out next time when we take a cruise with Toto's 3rd album, Turn Back. Wait, where's the sword?
Oh, shit.
But thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate all the love and all the support from the last episode. Seriously, it means a lot to me. Do me a favor. Go give this album a spin. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and all of that jazz. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side. This is Diminished Ox. I'm plugging out.